Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vero, Ceci, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode 321. It is the final episode for 2025. We are done for the year. We have recorded diligently, weekly. We brought you short and sweet ones. We brought you long ones. We brought you emotional ones, off the rail ones, funny ones, but we have brought you podcasts. Boy, have we ever. So we are going to wrap up this 2025 show talking about goal setting. Predictable, right? But not really, because it's something that is always anew and it's happening in our lives, whether we like it or not, because the new year is here. And we are going to talk a little bit about setting goals for the new year. And I'm going to start by first checking in with my gals, asking them how they're doing. And when they tell me how they're doing, they're going to follow up with the answer to this question. The question is, how do you feel when I say New Year's goals? Does it stress you out a little bit? Do you have a little pit in your stomach? Or do you get like super excited and butterflies in your stomach? So tell us how you're doing, and then tell us what you feel when you hear me say New Year's goals.
Hola, soy Vero. Y me encuentro bien. But hearing that, Irene, I feel that I'm looking forward to them. Otto and I have a couple of things that we're discussing, and we're like, let's work on this. And I feel it's going to be very couple oriented, where before we weren't really doing in couple goals, you could say. I think we're just surviving. Like, let's just figure this shit out. But I feel excited about the new year.
Love that. ¿Y tú, Ceci?
I'm good too. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Aquí, detangling my hair, just freshly washed. Yeah, when you say that, yeah, I don't feel nervous. I feel excited too. I know that Luis and I have talked a couple times about like, okay, what do we want to do for the year? But I actually want to sit down before the end of the year, sit down and think of like the year ahead. Like, think of each month. January, what's the goal for that year? For that month. The girls' birthday is that month. Like, what do we want to do? And so like just kind of goal setting for the year in that way, and just think about it like, okay, this month. And sit down and really put the work in and think, like Vero said, like as a couple, what's our goal as a couple? What's our goal as a family? And what do we want to accomplish in 2026? Dude, I can't believe, parece que apenas ayer que we started 25. I really, like, sí es cierto que entre más se hace uno viejo, like as we get older, the years just like, flash by.
Absolutely. 3 for 3 on the feeling excited and hopeful and ready to think about the new year. We are recording this on December 8th, so we've got enough of the month left to think about our goals. When I think about setting my goals, I'm excited primarily because I feel really good about the way I accomplished my 2025 goals. My husband and our family tends to be the big planner, write it down, have a meeting, get everybody excited, look at benchmarks. My heart just had a little pitter-patter thinking about it. Like, he's the goal geek here in this house. I usually just follow suit, but I'm like the rule follower. If someone tells me this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it, I will be so diligent. So I was like, cool, I'm indoctrinated into your pattern. And so we have these charts. They're up in our gym. We've been knocking them out. I'm not going to shame anybody else, but me. I have been diligent, and I've saved so much money because every week I just check off my little box, and I've worked out. I've joined 3 challenges for working out. I was telling Ceci that I have 6 1-hour workouts this week to complete this week's challenge. So that's done. Like, I will wrap up the year with having done a lot of rides on the Peloton, which is really nice. So I'm excited because I feel like I at least followed most of what I had planned for 2025, like the travel, the savings, the no debt. I use my credit cards. I love using my credit cards, but I never want to be the kind of person that owes anybody anything unless it's 0 interest, baby. So I'm really, really, really proud of that. So I'm looking forward to the next year because it's like, what next? And what's the level up? Or what do I have to keep doing? Maybe it's nothing major and just the same old chart. Okay. So we've all answered 3 for 3 on why we're excited moving forward. It sounds like we're all hopeful and all excited. There were some couple goals thrown in there. I think all 3 of us sort of mentioned that, along with family goals. So family goals are pretty important too, especially if as your kids get older and they have their own goals. So I'm going to ask a couple of other fun questions about goals, and then we'll wrap this one. It's not going to be a super long episode tonight as we wrap up our 2025 all together. But let me ask you guys this silly question. What is the randomest goal you ever set for yourself? Can you think of like a silly random goal that you set for yourself? That's kind of a hard question. I can't think of it like a random that someone wouldn't know. Maybe something that no one knew you were working on. Fun goal.
Going back to being Catholic. So my random one this year was doing the rosary. I've never had a goal like that. Like for 2025, like we're gonna do the rosary every first of the month. So that was pretty random, I think, for me. And again,
how'd you do? Did you do well with it?
Yeah, I did. So I don't know how to, like, I can't just pick up the rosary and start praying it. Like, no me lo sé. I mean, I know, like, you know, our Father, and then the Ave Maria, you know, los días. I know that, but I don't know, like, the prayers in between and all that. So I use an app. I sent it to you. I screenshot it and sent it to you guys in the chat a little while ago, and I do it in Spanish, and Either I do it as a family with the girls. The girls usually like doze off or whatever because it's usually the first of the month and it's like at night, or Luis and I do it like right before bedtime. So that was random. I liked it. I'm probably going to continue again on the first of the month. Me prendo mi veladora, like total señora.
Love
Prendo
that.
mi
Such a
cirio,
señora.
whatever.
I love it.
Toda señora, I said, you're
Such
so
a
funny.
mom. I love it.
Yeah,
You're
pues,
so
señora
Catholic.
somos.
I love it.
But yeah, that's
I
my
love
random
it.
goal. I liked it.
I had two random goals that came to mind. One was when I was traveling for a year, I did not miss church, and it organically happened, and then I just kept it up, and I loved it, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things I remember of the year. And challenging myself to never miss church. Once a week we would go to church. Who would have known we were going to be so Catholic on this podcast down the road?
I know. Play it for your mom, dude.
Yeah,
play for your mom.
this all for your mom. Who would have known? So that was a cool random thing that organically happened. I didn't set out to do that, and it worked out, and it was a whole year completely every week. So that was really, really cool. I'm proud of it. And another random one that I completely failed because I tried to set goals for Lent for 40 days. Damn, we really are Catholic today, as I say damn. Dang, gosh darn it. No, I try to set goals for Lent, and I'm terrible with goals for Lent. So then I try to mix it up and like not give up stuff. So several years ago, I was like, I'm not going to do the whole, I'm not drinking soda or bread or whatever. Like I'm not, I fail at that. I'm going to add something to my life, and I do better with that. Like adding weekly things that I want to do, or just more cool stuff that I think is good. Like, okay, family dinner without fail 5 nights a week or something. But once I tried to do the whole, I'm not going to curse. See, I fail at the taking things away. I'm like, I'm not going to curse for 40 days, guys. I didn't last 2.5 days. I don't even last a day and a half. I'm a person that curses. It's in my vocabulary. Can't help it. These episodes are usually explicit because it's myself, and then it's probably Vero. But one of us is going to drop a bad word. That was one of my most random goals, and I freaking failed miserably. ¿Y tú, Vero, anything random or unrealistic?
As I was thinking about it, like you said random, like, I don't know, are goals random? And I did. I had a random. It was kind of random, but also planned out. So there's two of them that came to mind. One is really silly. I said I wanted to learn how to like helicopter my boobies. Okay? Like if I'm moving my boobs,
that is random.
where I was like, okay, and be able to like, instead of just going out like one way, I'm like, okay, I can make him go on one way. I can make him go the other way. Can I double Dutch him? You know, double Dutch. Anyway, jump in, jump out, introduce yourself. But anyway, that was super random. I kind of got it down. I was able to do it for some time. I wasn't showing anyone in particular. This was just for me, okay? It was me, Vero time, out of the shower. When I put like, that's like my holy time. When I get out of the shower, I have to, from head to toe, put my cremita on, and then we're good, you know? After that, you can come in, you can bother me. The other one that was kind of random, that became like really like a legit goal, was when our friend Heidi put out in an email blast, like, hey, let's go camping and hike to Havasupai Falls. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I didn't think of the hiking part of it, like how hard that would be. But I was like, it'd be fun to go, hike and then camp out with people that we like. And I'm like, I know they're outdoorsy, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that. And then it was random. We're like, well, I already trail run. I was hiking a lot. And I was like, well, maybe. And then it became so serious. Like so many people signed up to do this. It was like 13 of us at the campground. So, or possibly even more. but it ended up being, we trained for it. Like we trained legit. We would run the trails. Then like Evelyn and I, for example, would like start carrying, like we went from 10 pounds to 15 pounds and then 20-pound backpacks. And we were like trekking because we were going to have to trek through the Grand Canyon to our campsite in Havasupai Falls. So it was really random of like, I'll do that. Sure. All right. Whatever. No big deal. And then it became like super hardcore. Let me get through this and I can hike, and what, I'll drink my pee if I have to. I'm just kidding. Not like that. But it was intense. So it was a random thing where I was like, that's easy. Let's do it. Sounds fun. To very much like, it's a goal. We're doing this. And it wasn't easy. It was very challenging, but it was like one of the best experiences ever.
I love that, Vero. I remember those photos. I remember all of you going. I think that's a huge, beautiful challenge. I love that you guys all did it together. It's not a simple thing to do. Like, it's a huge undertaking. So look it up if anybody's curious as to what we're talking about, because you doing that, Vero, was not easy, I'm sure. And I'm really impressed that you all went for it. And I'm sure the payoff of seeing the actual falls was beautiful. So that's pretty random. It's not every day that you get together with friends. We're going to go on this magical hike. We're going to get to the magical falls. We're going to have to be in great shape. We're going to have to carry all our gear. We're going to have to sleep overnight camping. Like, it's a pretty big undertaking. Like, I think it's really impressive. So felicidades. And no goal is too small or too random. So I want to encourage everybody. This podcast is all about getting us in the mood for goal setting. We're not going to sit here and tell you some boring way to structure your goals or why and try to motivate you. It's really about thinking that goals don't have to be scary. Goals don't have to make us nervous. And if they do, it's okay. It's okay to let those nerves go by. And there's no right way. So there's no right way to set our goals. If there's something we want and we want it enough to go after it every day and work for it, that's a goal. Whatever that is, whatever that thing is. And none of us have the same thing. So I'm going to ask 3 questions of my co-hosts. And then I ask our listeners to ask these three questions of themselves as well, to just sort of prime themselves for the new year and thinking about goals in the new year. So my first question is, if you could pick one area of your life to improve this year, what would it be and why? So if you only could pick one thing, if there's women out there that are thinking about, I don't want to overwhelm myself, just one area of my life. So what is that one area of your lives? And I can also go first, but if somebody has it, please go for it.
For me, I think it's taking more time to go on one-on-one dates with my daughters, because I don't do it enough. It's just, I always say, I'm like, oh, I want to do it. And both Luis and I are like, oh yeah, we need to do that. And then se pasa el fin de semana, dude, ya no lo hicimos, So maybe write that as my intention and like really commit to it, at least, during our meeting to map out the year. Like, okay, let's designate it in the month. Like, okay, this is the weekend that we're going to go on one-on-one dates, and then switch off,
I love that one. I really do love that one. I know it firsthand that it's beautiful and it works. Tu, Vero? One thing. If it was just one thing in your life.
My relationship with my husband. I want us to be more solid. And I know he wants the same thing, but knowing that it's not just my husband, it's my partner in crime, it's my everything, Like, we need to be solid to be also lead our family. Right. So that's part like the goal setting. It's part of the conversations. It's part of like really having each other's backs, and spending one-on-one time with each other. Because it's been a busy year where he's had to travel a lot. I have felt alone, not lonely, but just alone in this process. And it's really stressful. Girl, I have hives in my arms right now. Like, it's ridiculous. Wow. Like, look at this. You guys could probably see a little bit.
Yeah.
Se ven ronchitas aquí. But it's been stressful. It's been really overwhelming. And I'm trying, like, I was really trying to just, it's part of the process. Part of the process isn't forever. It's temporary. But I really want to strengthen our relationship, because I'm like, just how I am here, holding it down while he's away. I want him to feel that when he is away, everything's handled. It's taken care of. We have the help that we need. My mind is right. My body's right to be able to like care for our kids and, do what we need to do. And I want to feel the same way when I walk, if I have to take time away, be a weekend with the girls. Like, I want to be able to strengthen that so that whenever we need anything as individuals, we're able to provide it for one another.
or want to chill.
I speak it in English.
I love that. I love that it's very relationship based. Both of you said an area of your life that's a relationship with someone else. So it's like the one-on-one time with the kiddos, the foundation with your partner, and focusing on that because everything else leads from there. I will take it one step further and say, like, my relationship with myself and my health. I do feel us getting older and going through perimenopause, and our bodies are changing and our life changing. And I have enjoyed being in a workout challenge in the last 5 weeks and now 6 weeks to this week. So I want to just, if there was only one area, if I had to, gun to my head and I can only do one thing next year, it would be to keep up on making sure that I am taking care of my body, because it does get harder as you get older, but it's also simple. Like, the solution is simple. It's a matter of being consistent and committed to your nutrition and to moving your body and to have good habits. The vitamin intake, the sleeping, joy, and keeping stress down. If you take care of your body, it's taking care of all those things. It's not just, like trying to be like a fitness buff and work out every day. I want to have that one aspect feel like something that I'm focused on for myself. So y'all are going to be focused on a foundation in relationships. I'm going to be focused on a relationship that has to do with me, which I think is what I need in my life. So that's my why. Thank you all for sharing. To our listeners, again, I want to remind you that I want you to ask this same question of yourself. If you need to pause this before you go on to the rest of this episode, like, seriously, ask yourself, like, what's one area, and think about why you want to do it. And if you can't think of one area, that's okay too. Maybe you're like, there's no way I'm fired up and I'm doing these 3 things. But if it's just as simple as just one thing in your life, and if you did it differently, and if you looked at yourself in the mirror 12 months from now and you thought, like, man, I really did mean that, and I went after it. I do believe that with consistency, and this is the tip of the day, with consistency, if you mean that one area of your life and you just stick to that simple thing every day, whatever it is. For Ceci, it's that once a week date with one of her kids, and maybe every other week she rotates and it's the other twin. And for Vero, it's like that goal setting they're going to do as a partnership, and look at those goals once a week, look at those goals once every 2 weeks, whatever that's going to look like for her. For me, it's that taking an audit of my week and how was my health, and do I need to restart on a Monday? What is that for you? For everybody listening, what's that one thing? I hope that you'll take it serious, so that 12 months from now you can look in the mirror and feel like you were very consistent and you were able to achieve. The next thing I'm going to ask, in that same vein, and going along with what motivates us, if your life depended on just one daily habit, so goals are really broken down into not the whole year. And I said earlier, maybe every week, every other week, every month. But if you could do one thing every day, ladies, towards your goals, what would that one thing be in the next year?
For me, it's definitely some sort of movement. Correr, exercise, walk. Like today no hice nada de ejercicio. And I feel okay, surprisingly. Pero I guess because andaba en chinga que ya fui acá, yeah, that was my movement. But yeah, something, even if it's not running, yeah, I definitely don't run every day. I run like twice a week. Yeah, twice a week. So running, stretching. I what I try to do when I'm like, ya no alcancé a hacer nada and I want to do something, I do girl push-ups. I used to be able to do like 15 girl push-ups. Now I'm up to 20, like struggling. So, pero again, they're girl push-ups. They're not your real push-ups, but, por lo menos eso, unas 15, unas 20. If I can do that daily, I'm good.
I love that one simple daily habit. What about yours, Vero?
I have recently tried to use the gua sha thingy for my face. And I started, I had started doing it like in September, October. I was doing it consistently. Like every night, me lavaba la cara and I ponía mi aceitito and I would just do the gua sha thing. And I was like, let me look at a little video. And then I just stopped. I was like, it's time for bed. Let me go to bed. I'm tired. But we just took our family photos and there's a picture of me. And I've told you guys this before. Like, I think from nursing so long, like back to back, this little thing got created in my face right here. I have like a, when I have a cheek pussy.
I never heard that.
Well, when people say they have elbow pussy. What? I don't know. It's just your little saggy skin. It's just a little saggy skin. And I noticed it here, and I don't really have a jawline anymore. See? So I used to have a little jawline. And I know it happens. My body changes, and I'm totally okay with that. But I do notice that I think I want to now buy myself a little brush, like instead of the gua sha jade, use a brush. They have a little super soft brush that looks like it would work. So I want to try that. and just like do that to my face where I could do it anywhere without it having to be aceitito or lo que sea. And I could do it anywhere and just kind of like, drain my double chin and my little cuerito que está aquí. But it's just something that I feel like, it's comes with being, aging, but at the same time, it's like we can age gracefully too, like I don't have to turn into, I don't know, some brujita from down the street, it's more of like, look decent as an older woman, So I want to do that. That's one of my other goals is like, just take care of me, water intake, take care of my skin, and try to feel my best.
I love that both of you really have that common theme with something for yourself, something for caring for your body, something as simple as just like making time to care for your body every day. I love that. I mentioned earlier, that's kind of an area of my life that I want to work on in the next year. So I will change from something that is like maybe physical to more of a mental part of our everyday life, which also has to do with our body. But I've always wanted to be one of those people that really sits and reflects on their day and like planning their day and writing it down and writing what's going to happen in their day. And while I live and die by the calendar, sometimes living and dying by the calendar is more of transactional meetings. I got to give someone a ride. I got to sit in the meeting. I've got to get to this doctor appointment. I got to make a phone call. But if I were to plan my day, old school, I'm assuming that if I would write down things that I want to do, I would hopefully take more time to think of things that are part of my day that are not transactions for somebody else. And that's my hope. My hope is that I'm going to spend time every day or the day before. They say there's something really powerful about the day before planning your next day. And I think Ceci does as well because she's like loves to check things off of her written plan. And I want to try that because I am very electronics heavy. I have an app for everything. I have a calendar for everything. I have a tool for everything. But I want to take it back to the basics. And I think it would be a really nice daily habit, like when I've used the 5-minute gratitude journal, which I think is such a super great tool because it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to be grateful. I want to start planning my day and writing it down. And even if it's repetitive and I write the same things, like I have a board meeting, I have to pick up someone from school, but I do feel that it'll be like cook dinner and cook this. I feel like having this today. I'm going to make myself this. This ability to make it more interactive than just transactions that pull us in like a billion directions. So I'm going to try that and see how it goes, because the idea is that it's one daily habit to improve our lives every day. So that's the question. If your life depended on one daily habit, what would it be? For some of us, it's that care for the body. For others of us, it's that planning for the day. And for you, it might be something completely different. So to our listeners, go ahead and answer that question. And the final question for the three of us is going to be, if you choose one word, because people like to sometimes choose a word. I know I work with someone, a good friend of mine. She loves to choose her word of the year. So we're going to end with that today. And I'm going to ask my partners here if they had one word for the 2026 year and what is to come, what that one word would be and why. And I haven't thought about my word either. I have no idea what that one word would be and why. So we'll take a couple of minutes thinking about that one word. I'll let my partners think about theirs and remind everyone that the tip of the day is who knows what I said earlier. So rewind this. I think it was... you want to look at yourself at the end of the year and feel proud that you were consistent. I think that was the tip of the day. But if not, that's part 1A, 1B. That'll be 1B.
I think I have my word.
Go for
I
it.
went back to my youth for this one, okay? I grew up on Defiance Avenue, and I always felt like I matched the street I lived on because I was always very defiant in very different ways. Like nothing seemed impossible to me. Like I could defy gravity. No, but I think I'm going to go to defiance, meaning, and this interpretation of it is defy all those thoughts of myself that I've had. Like just go against them because I have had moments of doubt. I've had several moments of like, am I really able to do this when it came to work, but mostly when it came to me as a mom and as a wife and as, the person here at home. My confidence, I felt kind of dip in that aspect of it, because I could perform really well at work. But at the same time, it's a performance because when I got home, I felt really drained and really tired by the expectation of what was home. Not the expectation of the reality of what was expected of what I had to do at home. So very real. And I just started getting these thoughts of like, well, you're just not built that way, or maybe you're this, or maybe you're that. So I started really having this big internal conflict and these thoughts that were keeping me really from moving forward and just being who I am and being great at what I do. Meaning like I can also be great at home. So I'm gonna use defiance against those thoughts. Defiant to really create my story, like start over in a sense. This new, like, okay, I have a year under my belt of being back in the workplace. I have a year of like learning how to balance these things out. I have a better idea of how to conquer this or how to take on next year. And I'm going to defy those thoughts and those stories I've created of how maybe it's not about not good enough. It's more of like, I'm doing the best I can. And maybe we're like, we really are, not just, oh, you think you are. But really you are. What else can I do to get to where I want to be? So defy those negative thoughts, defy the stories I've told myself, and really just push myself forward in a sense of what's realistic for me. Yeah.
Cue that defying gravity, y'all. Cue it for Vero. Go for it. Ceci, what is your word?
I was thinking intention with what I do and the time spent with loved ones, like not just going day to day and, you know, like you were saying, like the transactional, like meeting to meeting, like just being intentional, like really setting the tone for like, hey, if I'm going to be with the client, like just really being present and not like checking the time and checking the phone, you know, like putting it away, being there, you know, setting the tone for that meeting. Same for social activities with my husband, with my daughters, with other loved ones, just with gatherings, just no estar como así viviendo like muy presionada. Like I'm gonna try to do that.
I love that. I have a common one, so maybe we both need it for each other. But I was thinking of the word Zen, and then I was thinking of the word peace. And I always think of the word peace because my name actually derives from the word peace. People often give me like little knickknacks that they'll find, and it'll be like the goddess of peace, or it means like peace, calm, tranquility. And I think it's funny because I do not define myself like that at all. Maybe because I wasn't raised in peace, calm, tranquility. Never. Like no one would ever say I'm like the quiet one or the calm one or the low energy one. Like there's never like this peace about me. So I'm like, you know what? It's funny that I thought of the word Zen and then I thought of my name, Irene, and how it's connected to peace. It would be a good year to have Zen, but you're right. Para no sentirme presurada and one thing after the next and this person, that person, this person, the other person. Cause you know, moms, we do that. And I feel for Vero, by the way, saying like, then I think all these things about myself and my confidence, we're all saying some version of that. We're all saying some version of a lack in confidence and not feeling ourselves, or a lack in time for ourselves, or a stress in ourselves to have everything all together all the time. So all three of us are sort of bonding over that, whether we say it explicitly or not. Like we all need a moment of defiance. We all need a moment of intentionality, and we all need a moment of peace. And so if we can take those words and use them for whatever they mean for us, or our own words in the next year, I think it'll be really, really good for us to lean into that and to keep it simple. The whole idea around this conversation and this exercise was to keep goal setting simple. And we don't have a magic formula. We just want everyone to take some time this month of December to think about where they're headed and why. Why this is important for us at Level Up Latina is because we know that nothing great happens without planning. I mean, it's just the reality. And everything actually does take intention. If there were the three words that we use, I think the one word that we can't escape is life takes intention. And goals, you got to write them down. It's like, you know, when I work with clients all the time in our coaching, it's, you know, most people have to hit a bullseye that they don't even know they're aiming for. They don't know what they're aiming for. We're all over the place. Things are nebulous. They're in the sky. They're disorganized. And that's what goal setting is. You determine how you want to do the process of goal setting, what you're going to use. But the idea is to keep it simple and just know where you're headed. Like, what is your vision and what's next? And we work on that with our clients all the time. We work on that with ourselves. Listen to us. Like, we're all a work in progress. So I just want to encourage everyone to take a moment of their day, think about what's next for them and why. What is your vision? What is your goal? What is something you want to manifest? What is something you're praying for? Use the words that work for you. And the three questions before we wrap were, what is one area of your life that you're going to improve on in the next year? What is that thing and why? And keeping it simple, again, one area. What is one habit in your day, every day? If your life depended on it or if not, but what is that one thing that you could do every day for yourself? And then finally, what is your word? You've heard ours today. We hope it's inspired you to be excited about the new year, to not be scared for the new year, and to not feel guilt in the new year. The beautiful thing about New Year's is that you can also leave the past year behind you. All the BS, all the stress, all the stuff you didn't like, you get to leave it in 2025. Not us. You're going to take us into 2026 and beyond. and you're going to tell us what you did this year to goal set. You're going to tell us in the chat, on Instagram. You're going to DM us or Facebook, whatever you want to do. You want to email us. We want to hear about you. We want to hear about your goals. We want to hear about what you did with your partner. The girls talk a lot about getting on the same page with their partners, what you're doing with your homegirls. I've said it on the podcast before that I do a vision boarding party with my homegirls. We're already planning our date. We're super excited. So whatever you're going to do, want to hear about it, tell us, email us what you're doing to think about you. It could be you on your own. It could be you with a partner. It could be you with a bestie. It could be you in your church. It could be you and your mama. But hopefully you are taking time to think of your goals. So tell us about it. Email us. Our email is admin@leveluplatina.com. Our Instagram and Facebook handle is @leveluplatina. And our website, as always, is leveluplatina.com. And if you are thinking about community and partnership and needing this for the new year, like needing that to get to your goals, because you're like, these women are right, I need to be in this zone, I need to be thinking like this, I need to be telling myself these things, then what are you waiting for? You got to join the Guilt-Free Squad. Give yourself that gift. Am I right or am I right? Like, give yourself that gift.
Let's do it.
It is super affordable on purpose. We charge practically nothing to be in our monthly community. You have workshops once a month with us. There's a group chat that be blowing up on the group chat. We be cracking each other up. This means nothing to you, but we're going to be talking about libidos and lattices, if that's how you pronounce it, at the next one. That's this weekend. We love the Guilt-Free Squad, our community, which is, again, a private community for chit-chatting. It is a community for supporting each other. We get together. We'll have our mixers here and there, but mostly it's a very structured workshop for like-minded women growing. So learn more at leveluplatina.com about the Guilt-Free Squad. It's our group coaching community, very, very affordable, and it's a beautiful gift to give yourself this new year and this Christmas. And until then, we're all going to say thank you for your listenership.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone. If you celebrate, Happy New Year.
Happy everything.
Thank you for being here the entire year. Los queremos mucho.
Los queremos. Everybody expect Vero's card. Vero's going to do holiday cards this year, but they're going to be Happy St. Patty's cards. February time.
It's going to be a surprise. It could even be April Fool's.
There you go.
Card. April Fool's. Nobody gets a card. We love you, girls. We love you, men. Please follow up with us in 2026 and come back for fresh episodes in January. Until then, don't forget to level up.